in chemical engineering from West Bengal University of Technology. The college was Heritage Institute of Technology. Then I gave the cleared GATE exam and entered IIT Kharagpur to do my MTech in chemical engineering. There I worked on as a project, as a part of the project, I worked on plasmonic, rather noble copper nanoparticles on that, and also sometimes silver and copper and gold. Then after that, I opted for doing PhD. So then after that, I cleared both GRE and TOEFL and got a chance to do my PhD in chemical engineering from University of Colorado Boulder. So in Colorado Boulder, my primary research focus was on designing synthesis and characterization of quantum dots and nanoparticles to treat multi-drug resistant bacteria. So my primary focus was on the material side. So I designed and characterized and synthesized a wide array of quantum dots and nanoparticles, especially in within 10 nanometer zone. For example, ZNO was there, TiO2 was there. I also specially focused on chalcogenides like CDTE, ZN-CDTE, then indium phosphide. So my prior target was that upon activation by visible light, it will be activated. As you know, the electrons will be transferred to the conduction band and a hole will be created in the valence band. And as a result of this, there is a chance that reactive oxygen species can be created, like say superoxide or hydroxyl radical. So our primary target was to kill bacteria using those ROS produced by quantum dots by light activation. So we found, in brief I am telling, we found the superoxide to be the most effective ROS species to kill the bacteria, because we found that it is very selective in action, in the sense that it will safely keep the mammalian cells intact. I mean, it will not harm the mammalian cells, but it can selectively kill the bacterian cells.
So let me ask you, when did you have already graduated, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about your graduation. When did you graduate and what did you do after that and what happened? Yeah.
Right. So I graduated on May 2019, last year. So after that, I thought that I will try my luck in industrial position. But the problem was that my supervisor is a completely academic man. So he does not have any connection in industry. So I was completely on my own to search a job. I actually had no prior idea that what is like to do a job in industry, because I also has a completely academic background, right from BTech, MTech, and then PhD. So I came to understand that academics and industry is two separate worlds, and it's sometimes a bit difficult to do a transition safely, especially if you don't have any reference or some person to guide you. So in that, I struggled a bit to get some interview schedule. I got some interviews, 2 interviews, 4 interviews at Intel, but that was not, I mean, cleared. I mean, their priority was different.
But do you know, based on your work you did, what type of, can you name a couple of industries that do similar work like you did in your PhD?
I actually found
or companies you were interested in.
Yes, right. I mean, you mean the work that is very much correlated with my research work, you mean?
Or maybe I would say the companies you were more interested in working with, put it this way.
So I was actually, for example, I must say that the process engineering job was one of my interest, because I had a long interest in doing some work on semiconductor based area, say having some clean room experience.
So that's why you applied to Intel probably.
For Intel also I applied from some few positions at Applied Materials and Lam Research, which are very related things. Apart from that, I also interested to those companies where they work on primarily on nanoparticle related job.
Got it.
I also shortlisted one company where the work was very much, the positions were very much of my interest. But then I found out that they don't sponsored visas and they are not willing to take international students. Some of them have also some clearance issues.
Right. So let me ask you, what happened? Yeah. So you were applying, so you graduated in what, May 2019?
Yeah, May 20.
So what happened?
I mean 19, sorry, not 19. May, not
2019.
2019, yeah.
Yeah.
So then I was on OPT, but in this course of searching, my OPT period actually expired. And then I returned back to India. So after returning back to India,
when did you came to India?
I came back at around August 2019.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So after that, I thought that maybe I should not directly try a transition to industry. Maybe I should try my luck in postdoc position also, because that will be a good cushioning point at buffer zone. So after that, I tried applying for postdoc positions also. I had some positive conversation with one of my professor in my university also. So he was, we are all having a chat that maybe a project position will open up this year. But in the meantime, this Corona thing came and our conversation completely got cut off, and then the visa, J1 visa issues.
Right.
So currently,
so what are you doing now? You are staying at home, or you're looking, or what are you doing?
Yeah. So currently I am in Kolkata, so my hometown. So I'm actually searching. Actually, currently I'm thinking that the best option is to keep all the options open. I mean, keeping both industrial and whatever, which one works, that's fine. So I am also offering, applying for positions for postdoc in USA also, but I am also trying my luck in Europe, because Europe can be, for example, Germany or Netherlands. I am seeing some open positions, the advertisement they are giving for university websites.
Right.
I'm applying for the positions which is related to my areas of interest, and at least some matching with my areas. So, and also I'm trying for a few positions in industrial or in the job professional areas also. But I got some few interviews also in India, some positions in India, especially some publishing related positions, some editing relating scientific, but and also one technical area. But one of the main problem that they are asking, that what is the guarantee that if we give you a job offer, you will not leave after getting a postdoc offer. That was one of the main problem I am focusing, and I don't know how to convince them, because they're thinking that he has a degree from USA, then definitely he will try his luck in USA postdoc, and then he may not live here.
Right.
So that's the main problem I'm facing time and again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay, I think I got a good idea. Okay, so let me ask you this question. When you were graduating, right? And the reason I say so, because when I graduated, and a lot of students I speak even now, or even in my time, my friends who graduated, we were facing the same problem, job, right? Because we were in a student visa and all that. So at that time, when I was about to graduate, I always has this plan that, because I think in 2009, when I graduated with my PhD, like 10 years back, the situation was very similar, because the housing market had crashed, and it was a big problem in finding a job. Right. But we were very careful that, we will, if not this, then we will go for a postdoc or something. So when you were transitioning, or you were about to defend, why didn't you start applying for postdocs at the same time? Why, or why didn't you apply for postdocs after you graduated till your OPT? Or did you apply, or did you not?
Actually, the thing is that I was actually, I must say that I actually committed a big mistake in that sense, that I had options for applying postdocs within my university also, apart from my PI, because my PI actually told me, when I went to my PI to say that if I want to do postdoc in my current lab, so is that possible? So my guy told that, my PI told that currently I have a problem in funding.
Yeah.
So, and till now, I don't see any new postdoc in my group. I always check my group website. So that is a big problem. So that's why I thought maybe, okay, I will definitely get a job, because I was of the idea that maybe after doing PhD, getting a job will not that hard. So, but I found out that was a big mistake.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, it looks like to me is that you were so sure that you did not even thought about the plan.
Exactly.
And when did it strike to you, like, oh, now I had to go, now I don't have anything? When did that happen?
On the fag end of my OPT period and coming back to India. That was.
But what I'm saying is, why you made that mistake? Because like you must have friends and people around you, international students who would have the similar.
Problem was that the department was chemical engineering, University of Colorado Boulder. So there, one of the thing is that there the number of Indian, I must say that Indian student is very less in PhD because their international intake is comparatively less, and also they don't have that much master's program, mostly PhDs. And most of the whom I know, generally they go for some national labs and projects where actually they don't take international. In my group only, I'm telling. For example, one of the student who's senior to my group went to some government positions in USA. Some others went to one went to I think Sandia National Lab, another went to Los Alamos, but they were all
US
all
citizens.
American. Yeah, they were all US citizens. So the reference was not there to which that match exactly my situation as an international student. The only guy whose situation actually matched with me was a Chinese student. He was my senior. So he was actually continuing his postdoc in my lab only. His PhD was also from my lab, and he's the last postdoc. I mean, after him, there is no new postdoc in my group. So I thought that maybe my guide will be a safe option, but he didn't have any funding at that time.
So you made a mistake.
Right. Now I can understand it very clearly.
Yeah. Because I was wondering when I saw your CV, like you are one of the, not one of the, what I would say, students do take care of these things. There are many students these days, especially with COVID, right? This problem is big. So even if I talk to students these days, they always talk about these things, but they always have an option. Okay, so so let me answer a couple of your questions. So definitely you are in a tough spot. I don't have to say that to you, right? Especially with COVID. But I'm very surprised also, because I'm wondering, you're talking about graduating in May 2019. The market was really good. So why do you have trouble in finding a job in industry? Because I switched my job, actually, a couple of jobs at that period of time, to be honest. And I can tell you, the market was never had been that good. So that's definitely a question that you need to understand. And the reason I say so is now it's extremely impossible to find a job in industry based on that, I'm saying. So that's one thing that you really want to think, like why that happened. But anyway, so I think the good thing is that if you had a lead. So here's my advice to you is, you can look for a postdoc positions in Europe and US. You're getting close to 1 year of your graduation, right? So if I was you, I would definitely try to see if I had a lead from someone, like you say, editing company or anything. Try to convince them as much as possible and say, I'm up and ready for the job. The another thing that you want to look for is, which is not bad idea at this point. So you can always say, okay, I can do a postdoc in US or Europe, right? You can come for a postdoc in US. That probably, if you are able, let's say if you are able to secure a postdoc in position in US, try to come as soon as possible. There is no point out in that. But because of COVID, I don't know when that will happen. Especially now, you are not in US. That's what I'm saying. It's such a difficult thing for you because, you know, you are as good as any international student now. Mm-hmm. Your situation is completely changed. So unless and until your advisor or someone can leverage you, saying that, you know, you can come and I can take you, I can see that is the only possibility, to be honest.
And also one thing is that the visa problem is something that is not under anybody's control. I mean, if the government thinks that they will not issue new visa, US government, then I think this year it will be a problem, isn't it?
Yeah, but one thing I am not sure about that is those visas are, so I don't know whether there was a video I made, actually I posted last week. I was talking to a Nigerian student. Mm-hmm. on my YouTube, where I talked about the H-1B visa. Mm-hmm. If you work as a postdoc in a national lab or in a university, that H-1B visa is different than H-1B visa for industry. Okay. Those are separate. That's mm-hmm. called research H-1B visa, and mm-hmm. they are unlimited. There is no time period. It doesn't expire. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure if that though the rule that came applies to those visas. Okay. Those are only for industry H-1B visas. Okay. So in your case, I would say if you go for a postdoc position at any university in US, I think you should be okay as far as the flights are coming and they're allowing. That's right. Yeah, one of the main problem that I know that in my city, the consulates are still, I mean, it is still closed. It is not open. So even one of my friend who has currently returned back for the last 3 to 4 months, he's actually still doing PhD. He's on F1 visa. He came to renew the visa F1. So he can't do that till now. I mean, he's not able to do that. So he told me that he got stuck. Yeah, I mean, he's still in PhD. I mean, continuing pursuing PhD. So he returned back on March. So his visa actually, I think, expired on May this year. Mm. So he was actually planning to renew it, but he still can't renew it because all the consulate, especially the Kolkata consulate, is still not open. Oh, okay. Yeah. So you know that yeah. So in that, so that's what I'm saying. It make a smart judgment because you don't know how long it's going to take place, and then right. You're going to be stuck there forever. So you don't want that to happen. Okay. In your case, I definitely say one thing is your best chance is to get a postdoc or a project scientist job or a teaching job or a faculty job in India. I don't think that for you going to Europe or someone is maybe is a good option, because I don't know what hardship will be there after that. US may be okay, because you are more comfortable, accustomed to the system and things like that. But again, you don't know when it's going to open up. So as far as you talked about this company, right, who was talking to you about the publishing mm-hmm. and all that, try to convince them, if possible, as much as you can, like, you know, that you can work. And I know a couple of people, actually, to be honest, who actually there's a guy I know, he's in my LinkedIn, I forgot his name. He did his PhD from Brown. Now he's in Bangalore. He does that work for a publishing company. Okay. Yeah. I think he's doing okay, in my opinion, because he published a lot of scientific stuff on LinkedIn and all that. So there are people who are working, and right. And let's say because you know, you can stay at your home place and do things, and so definitely try to convince them, because that brings a lot of flexibility. Definitely. That's right. So that's one thing. Second thing is apply to the pharmaceutical companies or any companies that you see in India that are hiring or so forth. There is another good option that I'm thinking right now, is actually two options that could be help to boost your career or give you a kickstart, because I think what you need right now is a kickstart. A jump start, right? Mm-hmm. I think number one is, let's say if you are able to find a postdoc in India, let's say ISC or IITs or so forth, do a couple of year of postdoc and apply to a faculty position in India. That is one good possibility for you. So let's say try to talk to a professor in IISc Bangalore or somewhere and see if you are able to, able to get a postdoc position. That is one definitely good thing. If let's say that doesn't work out, if let's say your job doesn't work out, the only thing that probably can help you at this point would be is then you have to probably go um, and do something different. So for example, go for an MBA program or something, because what I am thinking, you at this point of time, if your current degree doesn't help you to get a job, what you need then is go back to school, change everything. And MBA I don't think is a bad idea to do in a couple of reasons. One, it's a 2-year program, and definitely you have to give CAT and all that, but that's what it is, because you already been there 1 year. You wish you have prepared and for that already. That's one thing. And second thing is then it will also help you to figure out jobs in totally different companies, new companies, and so forth. Because my fear is, if you're gonna get stuck here and if you keep waiting, you're probably gonna wait another 1 year, another 2 year. I don't know what's gonna happen, especially with COVID. So definitely, since you already know now that you have made a mistake not having a plan B, don't do it again. Because again, if you're gonna say, okay, my plan is to get a postdoc, let's say it doesn't work out, then what's gonna happen? So if I was you, I will have my plan B ready. Because if I don't see a lead, so let's say if I don't, in couple of months, if I don't see a job happening, I'm not sure industry job in India is how easy it is to find it right now with current situation, because a lot of layoffs are happening, even in the US. So, and if you're gonna come to US as a postdoc, even if it's a 1 year, 2 year postdoc, it's gonna be a continuous struggle anyway. Because unless and until you get a green card or something, I don't think that's gonna be helpful. You probably have to go back again. So just keep that in mind, because a lot of people, let's say, who transitions into a postdoc, right? And let's say they got a postdoc for a year or two, what they're gonna do after that if there are no jobs? Because they have to find someone who can give them H1, right, in an industry.
Yes, right.
And the problem with that now. And so if they don't have a green card or something, that will be a trouble.
That's right. Yes.
So my advice to you would be is, I don't think that if you're already in the position where you should move on. Don't get stuck to the past and move on. And as I said, best thing would be is if you are able to get a postdoc in IITs or IISc, if you get it, work there for 2-3 years, I'm pretty sure that you can find a faculty position in IITs or somewhere. It is a very good chance. If not, if you don't see that happening, because you have to give GATE, I don't know what's the process. You have to figure that out. But
I have already given GATE.
Yeah. Okay. So
my master's is not.
Yeah. So if that is the case, then I don't know how they how you get into a PhD program. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh.
Because there are
PhD program is generally interview.
How do you get into a postdoc program?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because there is a called DST, Young Inspire Faculty or some program they have. I have interviewed a person actually on my, again, go to my page, you will see an interview from a guy who is already into a DST Young Faculty program or something, Inspire Faculty, where they give you money for 3, 4, 5 years. It's a good money. I think they give you close to like 1.5 lakhs a month, plus research fund and all that. So what you have to do is propose a topic and then go to a university, and if they accept it, something. So there is a video, you can watch that. But that's the one good thing, because then you will get trained and all that, and you can probably go back to Kharagpur or somewhere, wherever you want. So that's why I'm saying that there are a couple of options I see that could help you. But if you say, okay, it's not working, I mean, the good thing about in your case is, a lot of students who come to US, they are from bachelor's, right? They do, just like, for example, myself, I came to US, I did my bachelor's and I came to US. So my whole professional life started in US. Because in your case, I think, because you have already given GATE, did MTech there, you have gone through that process, so you know how that system works, right?
Yes, right.
So in your case, you have probably some links at Kharagpur also, so that might try to use that. Probably that may help you a lot, to be honest. But if you're thinking, oh, I may come to US and maybe do a postdoc, and then probably I will find an industry job, that's a moonshot at this point, to be honest with you. So I will keep that option open, but I won't dwell on that and wait for that, because as I said, you have already known what happens if you don't have another option. And then other option could be, as I said, in an MBA program.
Yes.
Right, go for an MBA program, try to see if that MBA program helps you, or if, as I said, if let's say if you get at IIM Calcutta or somewhere, or IIM Ahmedabad, that's a good thing. I mean, 2 years you're done, and then you're ready for business. I'm doing my MBA, so I think MBA brings a lot of value for PhDs too. It's not that it doesn't. Actually, it creates a lot of value for if you have an advanced degree.
Right.
Yeah. So, as I said, these are the options that only I see. Other than that, you're definitely walking in a thin ice for sure. Because if you don't work on these things, what I told you, or I don't think and there's any other option, but if you don't work on that, you would be in trouble. When I mean in trouble, that means you're not able. You're gonna go back to square one, because your good degree is as good as you are working on something, right? Right. So if it's gonna be 1 year, then 2 years, nobody's gonna recognize that value.
That's right.
The value is good as fresh it is. So just make sure you already have out past 1 year, and you are not doing anything. So people are gonna ask you that. So, and this COVID thing definitely is a bummer. So yeah. I wish, if I was you, probably if I would have gone back to India, I would have spent time in my advisor's lab at MTech or someone, rather than staying at home. Because, that at least keeps you moving. Even if I do voluntary work or something, doesn't matter.
I understand. But yeah.
But I don't know your personal circumstance. That could be a possibility. But as I'm saying, you're already walking in a thin ice. So, make sure that you are having some in couple of weeks, or in this month, in August, have a plan B ready and start working on it.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that will be a good idea, right? So I just have a last question. So if the current scenario, actually, if we overcome this, I mean, say COVID, so do you think there's still chance of going back to USA by either have postdoc or by any other industrial position, or postdoc will be the main option?
See, if you say industrial position, I don't think that is an option for you, to be honest.
Yes.
And the reason is very simple. Number one, you need a H-1B visa, right? And you're not in US anymore. You are as good. If you're not in US, it's the same thing. See, what happens if you're a student, and you know that if you're a student, everything works fine. You feel secure. The visa makes you that, you are not from here, right? So I don't. So if somebody who is graduating from IIT with a PhD, there is no difference between you and him now. If he